When we think about heart and brain health, most advice focuses on what to avoid: salt, sugar, and fat. But the real secret is not just avoiding harmful foods, it's eating the right foods that actively open your arteries, improve blood flow, and energize your organs. Today, I want to reveal a surprising food that works like a natural supercharger for your heart and brain. When we talk about heart and brain health, most people picture arteries as simple tubes, passive channels carrying blood from one place to another. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Arteries are living, dynamic tissues that respond to everything we eat, drink, feel, and do. They are far more than inert pipes. They are sensitive, intelligent structures that constantly adapt to our lifestyle, our diet, and even our emotional state. Understanding this is the first step in transforming our health from the inside out. Inside every artery lies a delicate lining called the endothelium, a single layer of cells that acts like a gatekeeper. It senses changes in blood flow, pressure, and chemical signals, and it adjusts the diameter of the artery accordingly. This ability to expand and contract keeps blood flowing smoothly, prevents clot formation, and ensures that every organ, especially the heart and brain, gets the oxygen and nutrients it needs. When the endothelium functions well, arteries remain flexible, resilient, and capable of handling stress. But when it becomes damaged due to poor diet, lack of exercise, or chronic inflammation, the arteries stiffen, narrow, and struggle to supply life-giving blood to the organs that rely on them. The exciting part is that arteries are not doomed to age or harden. They are highly responsive to the choices we make every day. The right foods can signal them to relax and widen, improving blood flow almost immediately. For instance, compounds found in certain vegetables, fruits, and even dark chocolate can stimulate the production of nitric oxide, a molecule that acts like a natural artery dilator. This tiny chemical messenger tells the smooth muscles in the arterial wall to relax, opening the vessels and allowing blood to move freely. It's remarkable to think that nature has provided us with these tools hidden in the foods we often overlook. Exercise is another powerful way to keep arteries alive. When we move, the blood flow increases, creating gentle friction against the endothelial lining. This mechanical signal stimulates the endothelium to produce more nitric oxide, which in turn keeps arteries flexible and youthful. Even moderate activity like brisk walking, swimming, or cycling, repeated consistently, can strengthen this system. The arteries, in essence, thrive on activity, responding as if to a conversation, stretching, widening, and becoming more efficient with each movement. Stress also plays a crucial role. Emotional tension triggers the release of hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline, which can constrict arteries and impair blood flow. Over time, chronic stress may contribute to hardened, narrowed vessels and reduced circulation. But because arteries are alive, they are also capable of recovering. Practices like deep breathing, meditation, and mindfulness can calm these hormonal signals, allowing the vessels to relax and restore their natural function. The body is remarkably adaptive, and the arteries respond to both harm and healing signals with incredible precision. It is equally important to consider how diet influences arterial health beyond the absence of saturated fats or salt. Modern nutrition often focuses on what to avoid, but arteries respond powerfully to what we include. Foods rich in antioxidants, polyphenols, and flavonols found in berries, leafy greens, citrus, nuts, and high-quality dark chocolate act as information signals for the body. They tell the arteries to repair, to dilate, and to resist inflammation. In clinical studies, these foods have been shown to improve endothelial function within hours of consumption. The arteries are listening, and they respond almost immediately when given the right cues. Even more fascinating is the way arteries communicate with the rest of the body. Healthy, flexible arteries improve circulation, which benefits the heart, the brain, the kidneys, and even the skin. Good blood flow delivers oxygen and nutrients while flushing out toxins. The brain receives more energy and clarity, the heart works with less strain, and the body feels more energized overall. When arteries are alive and responsive, the benefits are systemic. They don't just serve as conduits for blood, they orchestrate vitality throughout the entire body. Ultimately, the message is clear: our arteries are alive, and they have the capacity to heal, adapt, and flourish. They are responsive to the foods we eat, the movements we make, and the stress we manage. We do not need to accept stiff, clogged arteries as an inevitable part of aging. By making conscious choices that support endothelial health, including a nutrient-rich diet, regular physical activity, and stress reduction, we can maintain flexible, healthy arteries that support our heart, our brain, our overall vitality. The arteries, though hidden from view, are among the most important instruments of life. They are living, sensing, intelligent tissues that reflect our daily habits. Treat them well, feed them wisely, move them often, and manage stress, and they will reward us with strength, resilience, and a life full of energy and clarity. Understanding that arteries are alive transforms how we approach health. We no longer see them as passive tubes, but as living systems that can be nurtured, optimized, and celebrated for the essential role they play in every beat of our heart and every thought in our brain. When it comes to heart and brain health, we often think about avoiding harmful foods or controlling calories, but what if the most powerful tool we have is something we can actively eat to signal our body to heal itself? That's where flavanols come in. Flavanols are a group of naturally occurring compounds found in certain plants, and they have an extraordinary ability to influence the health of our arteries, our heart, and our brain. These compounds aren't just nutrients in the traditional sense. They are biological messengers that communicate directly with our blood vessels, telling them to relax, repair, and function optimally. The most well-known source of flavanols is cocoa, particularly high-quality dark chocolate. But they're also found in tea apples, citrus fruits, grapes, and certain berries. What makes flavanols so remarkable is their ability to enhance the function of the endothelium, the inner lining of our arteries. The endothelium is a living tissue, a sensor system, and a regulator of blood flow. Flavanols stimulate it to produce nitric oxide, a molecule that acts as a natural vasodilator, widening blood vessels and improving circulation. When arteries dilate, blood flows more freely, delivering oxygen and nutrients efficiently to the heart, brain, and every organ in the body. Scientific studies have repeatedly shown the power of flavanols. In controlled trials, even a single serving of flavanol-rich cocoa has been shown to increase blood flow to the brain within hours, enhancing cognitive function, focus, and mental clarity. For the heart, flavanols reduce arterial stiffness and improve circulation, which helps maintain healthy blood pressure and lowers the risk of cardiovascular events. In other words, these compounds are not just preventative, they actively repair and optimize the systems that sustain life. Flavanols also play a critical role in reducing oxidative stress and inflammation, two silent threats to our arteries. Oxidative stress occurs when free radicals damage cells, including those in the blood vessels. Inflammation, when chronic, stiffens arteries and accelerates the aging process. Flavanols counteract both by neutralizing harmful molecules and signaling the immune system to calm its overactive response. This dual action preserves the flexibility and responsiveness of arteries, ensuring that blood can flow without obstruction and that organs receive the oxygen they need. The brain, in particular, benefits profoundly from flavanols. Cognitive decline is often linked to impaired blood flow and inflammation. By improving circulation and reducing oxidative stress, flavanols provide a direct boost to brain health. Studies suggest that regular consumption of flavanol-rich foods can enhance memory, attention, and overall cognitive performance, supporting mental sharpness well into older age. This is a clear example of how food can act as information, sending signals to the body that go beyond simple nutrition. They instruct cells to repair, rejuvenate, and optimize their function. Flavanols also interact with the gut microbiome, the community of trillions of bacteria living in our digestive tract. These compounds serve as fuel for beneficial microbes, which in turn produce metabolites that further support vascular health and reduce inflammation. This means the benefits of flavanols are multi-layered, impacting the arteries directly, supporting the immune system, enhancing brain function, and even nurturing the gut microbiome. The body is a network, and flavanols activate multiple nodes of this network simultaneously. It's important to emphasize that not all chocolate or cocoa products are equal. The highest benefits come from minimally processed, high cocoa dark chocolate, ideally with 70% or higher cocoa content. Milk chocolate or highly processed products with added sugar and fats lose most of the flavanol content. It's a reminder that nature provides potent tools, but we must choose wisely and intentionally to harness their full power. Small, consistent servings are far more effective than large, sporadic indulgences. Beyond chocolate, incorporating flavanol-rich foods like tea, citrus, grapes, and berries into your diet ensures a continuous signal to your arteries to stay open, flexible, and strong. Pairing these foods with regular movement, stress management, and a balanced diet amplifies their effect. The results are cumulative over time. Your arteries become healthier, your heart beats with less strain, and your brain operates with greater clarity. Flavanols teach us a fundamental truth: food is information, not just calories. Each bite sends a message to your body, telling it to repair, protect, and optimize. By intentionally including flavanol-rich foods, we tap into a natural system of regeneration and resilience that exists within every artery, every cell, and every organ. The power of flavanols is not a distant promise. It is immediate, measurable, and profoundly impactful. Incorporating these foods into daily life is a simple yet powerful way to support arterial health, enhance circulation, and strengthen the foundation of our cardiovascular and cognitive function. Every meal becomes an opportunity to feed not just the body, but the systems that sustain life, ensuring that our heart, brain, and arteries remain alive, vibrant, and resilient. Flavanols are not just a nutrient, they are a natural signal of health, a way to awaken the body's innate capacity to thrive, and a reminder that nature has already provided solutions to some of our most pressing health challenges. When we talk about the arteries and the health of our heart and brain, we often think only about cholesterol, blood pressure, or clogged vessels. But there's a layer beneath all of that that is far more fundamental and far more powerful: the endothelium. The endothelium is a single layer of cells lining every artery, vein, and capillary in our body. It is only a few cells thick, yet it functions as a living, intelligent system that regulates blood flow, vascular tone, and overall cardiovascular health. Understanding the importance of endothelial function is crucial because when these cells are compromised, every organ, including the heart and brain, feels the impact. The endothelium is not just a lining, it is a dynamic organ that senses and responds to the environment. It releases chemical signals that control the dilation and contraction of arteries, which determines how easily blood flows. It regulates clotting, inflammation, and even the growth of new blood vessels. Healthy endothelial cells act like vigilant traffic controllers, keeping the flow smooth, preventing blockages, and responding to damage before it becomes dangerous. When the endothelium is healthy, arteries remain flexible, circulation is efficient, and organs are nourished with oxygen and nutrients. But when endothelial function is impaired, arteries stiffen, blood flow becomes restricted, and the risk of heart attack, stroke, and cognitive decline rises dramatically. What causes endothelial dysfunction? The modern lifestyle is a major contributor. High sugar and processed foods, chronic stress, lack of exercise, pollution, and smoking all damage these cells over time. Oxidative stress, caused by an imbalance between free radicals and antioxidants, injures the endothelium, leading to inflammation and narrowing of the arteries. Chronic inflammation further reduces the endothelium's ability to produce nitric oxide, the molecule responsible for relaxing and widening blood vessels. Once this system is compromised, even small increases in blood cholesterol can have outsized effects because the arteries lose their natural flexibility. The amazing news is that endothelial function can be restored and even optimized. The body has a built-in capacity to heal, provided we give it the right signal. Certain foods, rich in flavanols, polyphenols, and antioxidants, activate the endothelium to produce nitric oxide, relax the arteries, and improve circulation. Dark chocolate, green tea, citrus fruits, berries, and leafy greens are just a few examples. These foods are not just passive nutrition. They communicate directly with the endothelial cells, telling them to repair, regenerate, and respond efficiently to stress. Even small, consistent servings can produce measurable improvements in endothelial health within hours or days. Exercise is equally powerful. When we move, the increased blood flow creates a stress against the arterial walls. This mechanical stimulus signals the endothelium to produce more nitric oxide, improve arterial flexibility, and strengthen its protective functions. Cardiovascular activity, from walking and cycling to swimming and dancing, is not just about burning calories. It is a dialogue with the endothelium, a way of telling our arteries to stay alive, flexible, and strong. Even moderate activity, performed consistently, produces measurable benefits for blood vessel function. Endothelial function is intimately connected to brain health as well. The brain consumes about 20% of the oxygen in the body, and it relies on consistent blood flow for energy, focus, and memory. When endothelial function declines, cerebral arteries cannot deliver blood efficiently. Cognitive performance suffers, mental fatigue increases, and long-term risk for neurodegenerative diseases rises. By supporting endothelial health through nutrition, movement, and stress management, we enhance cerebral perfusion, improve cognitive clarity, and reduce the risk of memory decline. The endothelium is truly the foundation of both cardiovascular and neurological well-being. Stress management plays a critical role too. Emotional stress triggers hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline, which constrict arteries and impair endothelial function. Chronic stress can erode the protective capacity of these cells, reducing nitric oxide availability and promoting inflammation. Techniques such as meditation, deep breathing, yoga, or even mindful walking help counteract these effects, signaling the endothelium that it is safe to relax, repair, and restore its natural flexibility. The concept of endothelial function transforms how we think about health. It is not enough to simply avoid unhealthy foods or medications. We must actively nourish the systems that maintain vitality. Every lifestyle choice, what we eat, how we move, how we manage stress, sends information to these cells. By choosing wisely, we can restore endothelial function, open arteries, enhance blood flow, and protect our heart and brain for decades to come. Ultimately, endothelial function matters because it is the gatekeeper of life. Healthy endothelial cells mean flexible arteries, efficient circulation, optimal organ function, and resilience against disease. They are living, sensing, and intelligent tissues that respond to the environment we create with every bite, every step, and every breath. By understanding and honoring this system, we unlock one of the most powerful levers for longevity, vitality, and mental clarity. The endothelium is not just part of the body. It is the foundation of health, energy, and life itself, and caring for it changes everything. Inflammation is a word we hear often in health discussions, but most people misunderstand its true role in the body. In its acute form, inflammation is a life-saving response, a signal from your immune system that injury or infection has occurred. It's how your body heals a cut, fights an infection, or protects itself from harm. But when inflammation becomes chronic, it transforms from a protector into a silent saboteur, quietly damaging arteries, tissues, and organs over time. This silent inflammation is one of the primary obstacles to healthy arteries, a strong heart, and a sharp, energized brain. The danger of chronic inflammation is that it often goes unnoticed. Unlike the redness or swelling of an acute injury, low-grade inflammation in the body produces no dramatic symptoms at first. It acts subtly, eroding the walls of blood vessels, stiffening arteries, and impairing endothelial function. Over months and years, this silent attack increases the risk of heart disease, stroke, diabetes, and neurodegenerative disorders. Inflammation, in essence, is like termites in the foundation of a house, unseen, persistent, and capable of compromising the structure over time. What triggers this hidden inflammation? The modern lifestyle is a perfect storm. Diets high in processed foods, refined sugars, and trans fats feed inflammatory pathways. Chronic stress floods the body with cortisol and adrenaline, chemicals that can overstimulate immune responses. Lack of sleep, environmental toxins, and sedentary behavior all amplify this invisible fire. Even well-intentioned habits, if done inconsistently, may fail to counteract the accumulation of inflammatory signals. It is a constant battle, but the body is remarkably capable of defending itself if we provide the right tools. Nature has provided foods and nutrients that quiet the fire of inflammation silently and effectively. Anti-inflammatory compounds are found in colorful vegetables, berries, leafy greens, nuts, seeds, and healthy fats like olive oil and fatty fish. These foods don't just provide calories, they communicate with the immune system. Polyphenols, flavonols, carotenoids, and omega-3 fatty acids act as molecular messengers, signaling the body to downregulate inflammatory pathways. Over time, consistent consumption of these foods can reduce arterial inflammation, improve endothelial function, and support healthy blood flow. It's not dramatic, and there's no immediate sensation. The effect is subtle but profound, cumulative, and life-changing. The arteries are particularly vulnerable to silent inflammation. When inflammatory molecules infiltrate the vessel walls, they trigger a cascade that narrows arteries, reduces flexibility, and creates an environment where plaque can form. This is why chronic inflammation is closely linked to heart attacks and strokes. But it's also why focusing on anti-inflammatories and habits can reverse damage over time. By supplying the body with compounds that calm inflammation, we give the arteries a chance to heal, to become flexible again, and to restore efficient blood flow to the heart, brain, and other organs. Movement is another powerful anti-inflammatory tool. Exercise is not just about burning calories or building muscle. It is a systemic signal to reduce inflammatory markers. When muscles contract, they release molecules called myokines that communicate with immune cells, reducing systemic inflammation. Even moderate, consistent activity, a daily walk, cycling, swimming, or yoga, creates a steady anti-inflammatory signal throughout the body. This works hand in hand with a diet rich in anti-inflammatory nutrients, producing a compounding effect that protects arteries and enhances overall vitality. Stress management is equally critical in fighting silent inflammation. Chronic emotional tension triggers prolonged immune activation and increases inflammatory markers in the blood. Techniques such as meditation, deep breathing, mindfulness, and even journaling can lower cortisol levels, signal the immune system to calm down, and reduce arterial inflammation. Over time, these practices not only protect the heart and brain, but also improve sleep, digestion, and mental clarity, all systems affected by hidden inflammation. The concept of fighting inflammation silently is revolutionary because it shifts the focus from reactive measures to proactive, preventive ones. We are no longer waiting for disease to appear before taking action. We are activating the body's natural defenses continuously and quietly. Anti-inflammatory foods, movement, stress management, and proper sleep form a system that works synergistically. They calm inflammation, repair endothelial cells, maintain flexible arteries, and promote optimal circulation. Ultimately, chronic inflammation is not an inevitable part of aging. It is a process we can influence every day through conscious choices. The key is consistency and awareness, recognizing that the body is sending subtle signals, responding to the environment we create, and thriving when we provide the right cues. By fighting inflammation silently, we protect the heart, energize the brain, and create a foundation for longevity, resilience, and well-being. Silent inflammation may be invisible, but its consequences are profound. The good news is that it is reversible through everyday habits and mindful nutrition. By feeding the body anti-inflammatory signals, moving intentionally, and managing stress, we create an environment where arteries remain flexible, blood flows freely, and the organs that sustain life operate at their best. This is the power of silent intervention, subtle, consistent, and transformative, giving the body the chance to thrive quietly, naturally, and powerfully from the inside out. When most people think about food, they think about calories, how many to eat, how many to burn, and how it affects weight. But this perspective is only part of the story. Food is not just fuel, it is information. Every bite you take sends messages to your body, instructing cells on how to behave, organs on how to function, and systems on how to adapt. Calories matter, of course, but the information contained in food can be far more transformative than the energy it provides. Understanding food as information changes everything about how we approach health, longevity, and vitality. Every cell in the body has receptors and sensors designed to detect specific compounds in the foods we eat. Polyphenols, flavonoids, carotenoids, antioxidants, and essential fatty acids are not just nutrients, they are signals. They communicate with the endothelial cells lining your arteries, telling them to relax and improve blood flow. They signal the immune system to reduce unnecessary inflammation. They interact with your gut microbiome, influencing the production of metabolites that affect mood, metabolism, and brain health. The concept is simple but profound. Your food is constantly conversing with your body, shaping how it performs, repairs, and protects itself. Consider the impact of colorful vegetables and fruits. The deep reds of tomatoes, the rich blues of berries, the vibrant greens of kale and spinach. These colors are indicators of bioactive compounds that do more than satisfy hunger. Lycopene, anthocyanins, lutein, and other phytonutrients are active molecules that tell cells to repair DNA, reduce oxidative stress, and strengthen arterial walls. Eating these foods is not passive consumption. It is sending instructions to your body that promote resilience and longevity. Each meal becomes a deliberate act of signaling your cells to function optimally. The same principle applies to healthy fats. Omega-3 fatty acids found in fatty fish, flax seeds, and walnuts are not merely calorie sources, they are informational molecules that modulate inflammation, maintain membrane fluidity in cells, and support brain function. Monounsaturated fats from olive oil communicate with endothelial cells and immune pathways, reducing oxidative stress and improving blood flow. By choosing foods rich in these compounds, we are not just feeding our body, we are guiding it to behave in ways that prevent disease, enhance circulation, and optimize organ function. Even compounds found in foods like dark chocolate or green tea act as signals. Flavanols in cocoa or catechins in tea instruct endothelial cells to produce nitric oxide, dilate arteries, and improve circulation. These are direct molecular conversations between what we consume and the health of our arteries, heart, and brain. The body interprets food as instructions, not just as calories to burn. Each meal becomes a strategic intervention, an opportunity to activate the systems that protect and repair our organs. The gut microbiome provides another remarkable example. The trillions of bacteria in our digestive tract act as translators of the information in food. Prebiotic fibers, polyphenols, and resistant starches feed beneficial microbes, which then produce compounds that signal our immune system, metabolism, and even brain function. Food shapes our microbiome, and the microbiome in turn shapes how our body responds to nutrients, stress, and disease. This creates a feedback loop where food is both messenger and tool, a way to modulate health from the inside out. Understanding food as information also reframes our approach to disease prevention. Rather than simply avoiding sugar, processed foods, or saturated fats, we focus on including foods that actively instruct the body to heal, protect, and optimize itself. Broccoli sprouts, turmeric, garlic, green tea, berries, and nuts. These are not just ingredients, they are active participants in our health, telling arteries to remain flexible, immune cells to calm down, and neurons to protect themselves from oxidative stress. The right food choices act as a symphony of messages, orchestrating a balanced, resilient, and vibrant body. The implications are profound. When food is viewed as information, eating becomes intentional rather than passive. Each meal is an opportunity to send the right signals to our body's complex systems. Calories still matter for energy balance, but the quality and signaling properties of food have far greater influence on long-term health. We are not simply filling tanks, we are programming our cells to behave in ways that prevent disease, support mental clarity, and sustain vitality. Ultimately, recognizing food as information transforms how we think about health, aging, and performance. Every choice becomes an opportunity to instruct the body to repair itself, to fight inflammation, to nourish the brain, and to protect the heart. By approaching food as a series of messages to our cells rather than just energy to consume, we unlock a new level of control over our health. This perspective empowers us to harness nature's intelligence, using everyday meals to signal, activate, and optimize the extraordinary systems that keep us alive, resilient, and thriving. When it comes to health, people often feel overwhelmed. The advice seems endless: exercise more, eat better, sleep longer, manage stress, and avoid certain foods. It can feel like an impossible puzzle, and many give up before seeing any real results. But the truth is that health is not built in a single dramatic action. It is the result of small, consistent changes that create a cumulative effect over time. These seemingly minor choices send messages to our body that influence arteries, heart, brain, metabolism, and immune function in profound ways. Every meal is an opportunity to make a small but meaningful change. Choosing a handful of berries instead of a sugary snack, adding a splash of extra virgin olive oil to a salad, or swapping refined grains for whole grains may feel inconsequential in the moment, yet these small interventions communicate powerful information to the body's cells. Polyphenols in berries and olive oil reduce inflammation and oxidative stress. Whole grains provide fiber that feeds beneficial gut bacteria, which in turn produce metabolites that support heart and brain health. Each bite becomes a signal that nudges the body toward repair, resilience, and vitality. The same principle applies to movement. Not every workout needs to be intense or hours long. A short walk after a meal, a few flights of stairs instead of the elevator, or 10 minutes of stretching at your desk are all small actions that activate the body's circulatory and metabolic systems. These tiny bursts of activity stimulate endothelial cells in the arteries to produce nitric oxide, which opens vessels and improves blood flow. Muscles release myokines that reduce inflammation and support immune function. The benefits are additive. A few minutes repeated daily become a powerful force for cardiovascular, neurological, and metabolic health. Even sleep, often overlooked, is an area where small changes have big impact. Going to bed just 15 to 30 minutes earlier, reducing blue light exposure before sleep, or keeping a consistent sleep schedule can improve hormonal balance, reduce inflammation, and enhance the repair processes that occur overnight. Sleep is when the body's natural maintenance systems are most active, and minor improvements in duration or quality can ripple through every system, supporting heart, brain, and metabolic health. Stress management is another area where small changes yield outsized results. Deep breathing for 5 minutes, a brief meditation session, journaling, or simply stepping outside for sunlight and fresh air are small interventions that reduce cortisol levels and calm the immune system. Chronic stress can silently damage arteries, elevate blood pressure, and impair cognitive function. By consistently practicing even small stress reducing activities, the body is signaled that it is safe to relax, repair, and rejuvenate. These tiny choices add up, creating long-term resilience against disease and mental fatigue. Hydration is often underestimated, but is another area where minor adjustments make a big difference. Drinking water consistently throughout the day ensures proper circulation, helps flush toxins, and supports cellular communication. Even small improvements in hydration status can enhance energy levels, cognitive clarity, and the efficiency of metabolic and detoxification pathways. These are the kinds of small, everyday actions that silently shape the trajectory of health. The concept of small changes having a big impact is amplified when multiple areas are addressed together. A morning routine that includes a nutrient-rich breakfast, a brief walk, and a few minutes of mindfulness communicates powerful, cumulative messages to the body. Over weeks and months, these consistent actions improve endothelial function, reduce inflammation, optimize metabolism, and enhance mental clarity. The effects are synergistic, meaning that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Small and intentional actions compound, creating exponential benefits. The beauty of this approach is that it is accessible and sustainable. Health does not require extreme diets, punishing workouts, or radical lifestyle overhauls. What it does require is awareness, consistency, and intention. Every positive choice sends a signal to the body: repair, relax, and optimize. The body responds with remarkable adaptability, activating natural systems that protect the heart, open arteries, enhance brain function, and regulate metabolism. Over time, the cumulative effect of small, consistent interventions can be transformative. Perhaps the most important lesson is that no action is too small to matter. Choosing water over a sugary drink, walking around the block adding an extra serving of vegetables, or taking a few moments to breathe deeply may seem insignificant in isolation, but these small acts accumulate into profound changes in the body's systems. The arteries become more flexible, circulation improves, inflammation decreases, and the brain and heart function more efficiently. Small changes, repeated consistently, have the power to reshape health trajectories, extend longevity, and improve quality of life. They remind us that transformation does not have to be sudden or dramatic. It can be gradual, intentional, and deeply effective. By understanding that every choice communicates information to the body, we realize that we hold immense power over our own vitality. The path to a stronger heart, sharper mind, and resilient body is paved not with extremes, but with small, purposeful steps taken every day.